Hi there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tammy White from stampwithtami.com, and welcome to my online class. This morning we are going to get twisted. We're going to be playing with the twisted gatefold technique. It's a fun fold technique for card making. It's super easy, although I know it looks like it should be a little bit more complicated than it actually is. I think you guys are absolutely going to love it. I have lots of ideas. This is actually part 3 in a 4-part series. So what I'm going to be sharing today is I'm going to share how to make it. I'm going to share how to do the card base and the products that I've used on it and a couple different techniques. For example, the one that I'm going to make right now is a window card. Do you see the little window there? It's cute, right? Adding just a little something to our to our special fun fold. It is a Saturday morning and I am filming live on Facebook, YouTube, and now Twitter. Yay! 2022 has brought in some new things, and I'm able to go live on Twitter now too. So that's really exciting. So welcome aboard all my Twitter followers, YouTube and Facebook, and all of you who are watching the replay. You may be watching it on Pinterest, Reddit, or many other places. So welcome, and I'm really happy you're here. Be sure to drop a comment, say hi, and don't forget to drop a comment because I have a giveaway, and actually this giveaway is different than my regular video giveaways because today is my Stampin' Demonstrator Group's Valentine's Day blog hop. So that means I don't just have one class. If you pop on over to stampwithtami.com, click on the link in the video's description, and take the blog hop tour, super fun and easy. All you need to do is drop a comment there on the blog with the hashtag Stampin' Contest, and you will be entered to win. It's always free, and you are going to be so inspired. There's so many awesome things there shared. My Stampin' group has been working all month on these projects just to share with you guys, and they are super talented. I love being able to share their stuff on Blog Hop Day, and you'll see it if you're on my Facebook page. You'll see their stuff there all the time because they are amazing. Also, if you're in our Stampin' Demonstrator group, you get stuff every day because we have challenges and shares there, and I encourage it because I love to see your stuff. All right, not only that, whether you're in my group or not, it's Saturday, and you know what that means. Well, for those of you who follow me, you know what that means. Those of you who don't follow me, it means on Facebook, it's Share It Day. So I Share Your Craft Saturday, and I have a post there. Every week there's more inspiration. It is amazing. I love to see what you're working on. I love to see what inspires you. It helps me, and also I love to see what you like from what I've done. So, you know, whether you're casing something I've done or a technique that I've done or doing something completely different, I love to see it, and I love to see what you're up to. Okay, with that, let's get started with the stamping. So, twisted gatefolds today, and I have a lot to share with you. So, not just the technique, but a lot of ideas. So, for this one, I am using the Floral Heart die from Stampin' Up! To create our die here. So this is a die set here. I used the banner and the heart die, and I cut that heart die out of, this is metallic silver from the metallic silver collection. And then I heat embossed. I wanted a little pop of color here, so I'm using polished pink. And I heat embossed the words, and the words are from the Love and Happiness stamp set. And that is part of the Bouquet of Love bundle. You can purchase it individually, or you can purchase it as part of the bundle. I'm going to show more from this bundle in a minute. We've worked with it last week too, and it is phenomenal. But that's where my words came from. All right, so first things first, before we get into the die cutting and the gatefold technique, let's do our heat embossing. So I heat embossed the words. I wanted a pop of color, so we've got I love the Simply Marbleous paper. I'll share some more of that in a minute. It is just, it pops, doesn't it? It really is just cool paper. And with the silver and that, and I'll share how I made that envelope in a minute as well. I just think that the pop of polished pink on it, just bang, I love it. So we're going to start with that. I've got a scrap of polished pink paper here. I'm going to take the words congratulations from that Love and Happiness stamp set and a Versamark ink pad because we're going to do some heat embossing. So we want an ink pad that's going to stay a little bit juicy and wet a little bit longer than our regular classic inks do so that it will hold the embossing powder. So I'm going to stamp congratulations. However, you could make this for any occasion. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. It doesn't even have to be wedding anniversary. You can make a birthday card out of it. You could make a congratulations card out of it. Even a sympathy card. Just changing the words. You could pretty much do anything. Just bringing in some scrap paper here, because I'm going to pour some white heat emboss powder. This comes from Stampin' Up's Basics. And I should note everything that I'm using today. All these products are available in my online store. And you can get quick links at stampwithtami.com on this project's page. The link will be in the video's description, or go to stampwithtami.com. And there I like to make it easy for you to find everything, including the measurements for everything I'm doing today. And again, I mentioned this is part 3 of a 4-part series, so I have links there to the first 2, and tomorrow will be part 4, the last in this series. So you'll be able to get all that information there too. I like to keep it easy. So this is Basics Heat Embossing Collection, which is white, black, your basic colors. And I'm going to take my little handy dandy heat tool here, and we will heat that up and melt that powder right on there. The fonts in the stamp set are amazing, Cindy. I totally agree. I love it. I'm addicted to it. As you can see, I used it in last week's class too. This is the Love and Happiness stamp set. Sorry, just taking a minute for this to warm up. Always the first use of the day. And my heat tools get a lot of use. Okay, so once that's all melted, and I don't know how well the camera shows that up, but it's really cool. I love heat embossing. I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things. So we'll take our die cut machine and go ahead and cut that floral heart die, which I brought out earlier. I'm just going to take the banner for this. I love that banner. And so what I've got here for a platform on my die cut machine here is we've got the platform, we've got the number 2 plate, and then a number 3 cutting plate. And I've got cardstock, and I'll line that up exactly how I want it. And then we're going to put a cutting plate right on top. My YouTubers are having a discussion about how much they don't like Facebook. And you know what's funny about that, guys? There is a group on Facebook that don't like YouTube. So that's why I'm glad that I can broadcast on both, because I catch everybody. Because I know everybody has their own what they like and what they don't like. And I don't know if you guys just, well, I'm sitting here laughing and at you guys talking here. I only got half of a banner here. So I'm going to need to recut that, right? So if you are tuning in late and missed my heat embossing segment, guess what? I'm going to do it again because I'm an idiot, and that's okay, right? Because you can never get enough heat embossing. So we'll just go through this. I'm going to go do it like I'm in fast forward mode now. First mark, blah, blah, blah. Step that in the middle. Congratulations. I'm like, be like Alvin and the Chipmunks talking really fast. Then we're going to take our scrap piece of paper here. White embossing powder, order the top, take our heat gun, I don't know. If I was really good, I probably would have had one of those pre-cut for us, but it's Saturday morning. And besides, more stamping the better, right? You know what I'm saying. Hi, Ann, who's freezing in upstate New York. I am freezing here in Massachusetts as well. I think it was 7 degrees out this morning. Thankfully for me, I don't have to go outside, so. I don't know how many of you guys out there are sick, but thankfully, again, I could do this online because I have been very sick all week. So I'm very grateful for technology being able to bring us together this way. So I'm not sharing my germs with you guys. And throwing stuff around. Yeah, it just goes with the territory, right? Okay. It's going to be one of those episodes. You know, one of those episodes, you know, the ones where everything goes wrong. You know, I'm sitting here talking and I'm not paying attention. And then the next thing you know, throwing stuff around, not cutting full things all the way. Oh, -2 in Ohio. Oh my gosh, that is chilly, chilly, chilly. All right, I'm going to grab a Post-it note if I can find one handy so that this little guy doesn't float around on me. As you can see, I'm moving this, when I move my plate, it's moving my die around, and I don't want it to do that. It's a long die, so it's a little bent because it's one I use a lot, especially this time of year. Okay, so I'm just taking the Post-it note to hold that steady, and I'll just push that down, crank it through. Now we've got a full banner. Yay! Okay, I'll try to pay attention. I'll try to pay better attention now for the rest of the show. So, but hey, you know, if I don't, you know what I'm saying. It's not bad, right? We all love heat embossing. Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way. Now, if I was doing this on my own, I would continue die cutting here. We'll continue die cutting the floral heart die. So we'll continue cutting out. This is from the Silver Metallics collection. Super cool. If you guys are not familiar with it, I'll just show it to you. There's 3 different shades here of silver. One of them is almost a purpley color, which I love purple. So as you can see by my sticky note, kind of cool. So I just used the regular silver on this one, but any of them will kind of go. I actually feel like if you changed it to this and used like a Highland Heather for your banner, Highland Heather purple color, it would look really cool. Really cool. Haven't tried it yet, but if you do try it, share it on my Saturday morning share. Okay. While that's still out, I'm going to take the layering circles dies, and I'm going to cut from, we have window sheets. They're, let me just show you really quickly. It's just a big piece of acetate, but it's a nice thick one that you can heat emboss on. We're not heat embossing today, but it is good to know that you can, and it doesn't melt. So I cut this. This was the 3rd largest circle from the layering circle dies out of the window sheet. And the last die cut I'm going to do for this card is from that. This is from the Bouquet of Love. I'm going to share that whole Bouquet of Love in a minute. This is Small Heart. So I'll show you the whole thing in just a minute. But I cut that one from the Bouquet of Love. It's the hybrid folder. So that's all polished pink. So we've got our die cuts all ready. And I'm just going to push these off to the side while we go with our card base. And for those of you just tuning in, welcome. Ruth, that's where the banner was from. I don't know if you might have asked that question after I shared the floral heart dies, but that's from the floral heart dies. Again, all of the supplies I'm using, just in case I don't see your comment or I'm going fast, the supplies are all listed on my project page for this at stampwithtami.com. There's a link in the video's description. I have a full printable PDF for you there with measurements, which will be very helpful for this particular technique. And if you're on YouTube, there's also the list of supplies is also in the comments description. It's in the description of the video. Okay, so this is what we're doing right now. I'm going to share how I did this twisted gatefold. And oh my gosh, how fun is that, right? Super fun. So let's start with the card base. I'm using basic gray right here, which is, it's the darker of the 2 grays. We have smoky slate, which I'll also be using on this card. And the card base is 9x6. Again, don't need to write that down. It is on that printable PDF for you. So on the long side, I'm going to score, and I'm using my paper trimmer for this section, but you can also use your Simply Score tool. I'm actually going to break out the Simply Score tool in a minute. I found that the paper trimmer was easy. When I go to do the diagonal, it was easier for me to use this than the Simply Score tool. And that's personal preference, just because of the diagonal. So that's 3 inches and 6 inches. And what that's going to do is give me 3. And I want my bone folder to burnish this really good. This is going to give me 3 3-inch panels. And it also makes a nice fold all by itself, right? That's a fun fold right there. But we're not done. Next, I'm going to take the 2 outer pieces, and I'm going to score from the top to the outside of the left-hand side. And if you do this the opposite way, that's okay too. It looks great both ways. In fact, once I'm done, I've got a bunch of samples to share from my series on the twisted gatefold. And one of them I even did, these I'm doing portrait style, but one of them I even did landscape style. So what the trick to this is, no matter which way you score, whether it's this way or this way, do it the same on the other side. So I'm just going to slide it through like this. And what I mean by that is you want the slant to be, the angle to be the same. Okay, and then I want to just make sure that I lined up the bottom of that score fold with the corner of where the track is. Okay, so with that, just going to make, again, you really want a good burnishing here on that score line. You see it? Do you see it? There it is. Ta-da! So, again, just scored from here to here. Same, make sure your angles are going the same direction, and boom, there it is. Boop, there it is. All right, so now we've got now we've got the score going on there. Next, I'm gonna show you how to cut your designer series paper. See how the designer series paper is cut here at angles? I'm gonna share how to do that pretty easily. It is just as easy. Now, again, the measurements are on that free PDF, and that's important to know because these measurements are pretty important to make sure that you have a successful twisted gatefold here. So I am using this paper. How fun is this paper, right? This is called Simply Marbleous. Marbleous, and I hope I'm saying that right because it's a weird spelling. It's like marble, but, you know, marvelous, so they kind of combine the two to make it cute. And it is super cute, but I'm going to show you the paper too. This is a basic gray, I believe, is the color. Now, could you see the back is like a light marble, and the front is just striking. It's almost like a silky pattern going on there. And then I've got smoky slate. So I've got 3 sheets here. They're all cut the same because I'm going to be doing 3 panels. So front and then 1 on the back. I'll share what I mean by that in just a minute. Again, measurements on that free PDF, and you are going to want those. So bringing that paper trimmer back in. So the key here is to make sure that you are cutting the right direction as you want your, so right here, I'm going to cut this piece to match this diagonal. And so I've got it face up. So I want the longer end on the top. We've got the longer end on the top. And then I'm going to cut from corner to corner. Okay. Bada bang, right? So there's 1. And then when I do the opposite side, same thing. Just want to make sure that I've got the longer on the top here. And cut. So those are going to fit right in here. Now the last one I'm going to cut in just a minute. Let me attach these two because I really found that once I got them cut, if I didn't attach them right away, I kind of got them mixed up, and then you might run into a little bit of issue with your cutting. Okay, so right about there, I was just about to go wrong. Now, if you have a solid piece of cardstock, it's okay if you cut it backwards because you can always flip it upside down. But if you have a pattern piece, you want to make sure you're cutting it the right way. So these are my mats. They're actually going to go underneath the designer series paper that I just cut. Now, some of the twisted gatefolds, I matted the designer paper. Some of them I didn't. So I'll share that with you just so you can see the difference. So let me attach these. I know normally I like to do all of my stamping, all of my cutting, then all of my attaching, but today I'm going to break that rule because rules are made to be broken, right? And because I found personally, so as not to get them mixed up, it was easier to do it this way. But you can see just by doing that, super, super easy to do, a lot easier than you probably thought when you were just looking at it, right? And if you guys follow me on social media, like on Instagram or on Facebook, you've seen probably my first 2 in this series I've been posting the past couple of days. And that is, I'm going to share those with you in just a minute, but I shared the different, a couple of different designs that I did for this fold. If you don't follow me on social media, be sure to follow Stamp with Tammy, but also on this resource page, I have links to those too. So you'll be able to see some different ideas that I did. So some, like I said, some I matted, some I didn't, some I just put regular designer series paper down. They all looked awesome. It's all personal preference. Okay, so there we've got our first fold. Some I put paper on the inside and some I didn't. Again, that's depending on what look you're going for. I really mixed them up a lot so you can see a bunch of different ideas. I just had so much fun with this. I want to know at the end of this episode, I got to do a poll. I got to do a which one was your favorite poll at the end. Like I said, today is part 3 in the series, and I know when I do this, it always kills me because I'm like, I start working on one, I'm like, oh my gosh, this one's my favorite, and then I start working on another one, and I'm like, oh, I love this one, and then it just becomes so hard to pick a favorite. Hit the end of my adhesive. Sorry. I'm going to do a quick aside on how to change your adhesive roll. Who's wondering? I've got seal adhesive here that I'm using. This one is my go-to adhesive. And if you were wondering how to refill it, here it goes. Bada bing, bada boom. Done. Oops. And then I just want to do a test roll there. Okay, so put that right up here, and then I'm going to cut the outside pieces. All right. Aw, thanks, Angela. She's such a missing out if you're not following. You are right. I share so many things. Okay, so you can see it's coming together now. We've got our front twisted fold here. Now I'm going to share how I cut these 2 pieces on the back. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece here and a piece here so they peek, kind of like a little reveal going in the back. So I just need to kind of see one. These are the same exact size panels that I just cut for the inside. Just, I believe I'm cutting them oppositely, and I want to make sure I'm doing it right because I'm not. Okay, so I want to go to there, to there. Okay, so the long end on the top, long end on the top. Again, with the solid, I could flip it over and it would be okay. But once I go to do that pattern paper, so this is going to go here, and this is going to go on the other side. Once I do this pattern paper, I do want to make sure I do it right. Jennifer says she Googled Stamp with Tammy, and the first thing that shows is an actress. I can tell you I am not an actress. Sorry, that wasn't me, no, but I hope she's a good actress. Nope. Maybe in a former life, I don't know. All right, so cut it the same way, but do you see that I flipped the paper over this time? And I did that intentionally. This was the paper I did on the front. This is the one I want to do, so it's contrasting for the back. So then I'm going to layer, and the smoky slate is the same. Layer, la 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 la. Sorry, now you're going to have my singing. And that's going to go right there. Here we go. So you can see the contrast. Super cool, right? Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put one right here. The second one that we just, we cut it in half. So this is the other half. Oh, a lot of you freezing this morning. Yeah, I hear you. I know it's cold here too. That I am very grateful that I do not need to go outside today. I'm very grateful for heat. Grateful for a lot of things. A lot of things this week because I've been very sick. Okay, so now that's how you do your designer series paper, really, right? Easy, right? And then I've just got a panel for the inside. Since I matted the pieces on the outside with the smoky slate, I'm going to mat the inside. And on my free PDF on the blog, I said basic white cardstock, which is what I did use on the original, but for this one, I grabbed some shimmer white. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the shimmer of this, but it's pretty cool. I don't know what an A4 envelope is. I'm sorry. But this will not fit in the regular medium envelope that I do normally use. And I'm going to share how to custom make envelopes. That's coming up next, so stay tuned. Stay tuned, that is the next step. Okay, so now we've got our card pretty much ready to go here, rock and roll. Now we just need to add some decor to it, which we have pre-done, right? And if you are popping in late, you can watch the replay to catch where all these pieces came from. You can also, on the free PDF, I have it listed there. First thing I did, and the reason why I cut this window sheet, some of you are probably wondering, is because I wanted to strengthen this heart. The heart's a little delicate. I want to put it on the front, and I don't want it to bend. So I found using the window sheet, it's basically invisible. It gives us a fun little window, but it also strengthens the heart die. So I'm just going to take some adhesive around the edges there, and then I'm going to put that right on there. I've got fingerprints all over mine. Just wipe those off. Okay, so then let's take our bone folder. There is a couple of... Oh, gotcha. That's the normal medium-sized envelope. Thanks, Sherry. Appreciate you translating for me there. But no, these will not fit into the normal sized envelopes, to answer that question. And I will share how to make your own envelope for it. Because the envelope's just as pretty as the card. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. You want a pretty envelope. So for this, let's see. What do we want? Do we want dimensionals? Yeah, I guess I could do dimensionals. I guess I could do flat. You could do either one here. I guess I'll do flat. So I'm just going to put adhesive on the bottom of the banner tail here. And that kind of put like so. Go ahead and put this. This was from the hybrid folder. And then the last piece here, well, the second to the last piece, is to actually attach the heart. So when you attach this heart to your card, you like my unique wipe off tool, my sleeve of my arm? We all got one, right? All right, so this, I want to make sure it's only attached right here so that it doesn't hold our card together. Okay, so you can either do Stampin' Dimensionals there. I'm just going to do a little bit of seal adhesive, just time consuming. And then just, oops, line that up how you want it. And there we go. And then it stands up. I'll put you down on the lower cam and see if I can show you. It stands up. It's a pretty fold. So when it stands up, it's kind of cool, right? It's got its own cool looking pose. It's going to look nice on somebody's mantelpiece because they're going to want to save this. Now, I said that was the second to the last step because you know me. It's never really done until you have some bling. So I'm taking the classic matte dots for the bling here because they had white, cream, gray, and black. There's not too many I found that have gray. And I liked that it, you know, the gray kind of blended together with everything. It gave it a little special something. And I'll use the smaller ones today. So just put a couple on the top, a couple on the bottom. We got a naughty one. I'm using the Take Your Pick tool to attach here. It's my little Swiss Army knife of tools. It does make life easy, especially when you have fingernails, picking up those tiny little dots. And now our card is complete. So that was done with the floral heart die and the Simply Marbleous Designer Series paper. And if you guys are not familiar with this paper is available free during Sale-a-bration. So it's only till the end of February, but you can get this free with your orders. And so there's 6 different colors here, and you can see the front has that really cool silky looking effect, and the back has more of a lighter marble of each color. This is the color that I used here. So that's fun paper, right? All right, so the next thing I promised I would share is how to make the envelope. The envelopes, because this is, I did a 6x9, so this is a little bit bigger than my normal sized, standard size cards. And so I wanted an envelope just as pretty as the card, and I wanted to make sure that the card is gonna fit nicely inside. So for the envelope, I wanted, and I'm using 11 by, the measurements here on this are going to be 11 by 12. Although you could do 12 by 12. You could actually cut it down. This is totally up to you, but 11 by 12 is what I liked. And the paper I'm using here is called In Good Taste. I'll show you some more. This In Good Taste is just really great for just about everything. So I'm going to cut 1 inch off the top. And then, let's see, on the short side, so this is the 11-inch side here, I'm going to score at 1.5 inches on one end, 2 inches on the other end. So that's going to give me a top and a bottom. Now this next step, I am going to bring my Simply Score tool in here. Let's make sure you get a good fold. It makes a difference on a lot of these. Now, the reason why is because now I'm going to kind of go rogue. And this is a personal, I just wanted to, for each one, I did my own thing. I know they probably all end up being the same. But I just laid the card down the way I want it to go in the envelope. Actually, you know what? I think it will go better this way. So I've got, this is the 12-inch side across here. I'm going to go find my little groove right about here. And then find a groove on the other side right about here. Oh, Stella got her groove back, right? Oh, Tammy found her envelope groove. That's my secret. Not good with measurements, but really good when it comes to winging it, and that just makes it like perfectly fit inside. So I'm gonna take scissors. You can use your paper trimmer for this part if you want. I'm cutting in at a tiny little bit of an angle to do this, and anytime you need a custom size envelope, this is the way to go. It's quick, it's easy, and it fits, you know, fits perfectly every time, right? Because you're custom sizing it. And I just think at the end, the angle, cutting it at a little bit of an angle, makes it look the nicest, the most polished, if that's the word I'm looking for at the end. Okay, so that's our bottom. This is our top. So we'll just take a little adhesive and go on one side here. A little adhesive on the bottom, and then you can either put your card in there, put the adhesive on the top, and you're good to go. Or you can take some tear tape and put it here and leave the adhesive on the back. So there you go. So now that is going to fit perfectly inside. You've got a beautiful custom-made envelope. But wait, I know the next question is how you're going to write on that envelope. How are you going to mail it? So, right? And I know you were thinking it. I know you were. So I've taken the scallop contour dies. All right, and I've cut... Personally, I cut a couple pieces out here. Now, this is totally up to you. You can do one layer, you can do 2 layers, you can get as fancy as you want. I know mine's even different than my original here. Here's the original that I did for this one. I even put a ribbon on the original. If you were putting this through the mail, you want to leave the ribbon off. Just an FYI. You do want to hand cancel these, and yes, they can be mailed, but not with a ribbon. If you're hand gifting this to somebody with a present or in a package or just hand delivering it to somebody, I like the look of that ribbon. I think it looks really cool. So I did 3 layers here. I've got the polished pink to match the card. I've got the silver metallic and then white for the top. Obviously, we want something light on top so that we can write on it. So I'm just gonna layer these down. If you wanted to pop them up with dimensionals, if you weren't mailing this, that would be awesome too. I'm just gonna go flat. We're just gonna pretend this one's going in the mail. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You can round the edges if you want, Benny, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. We have a corner rounder if you want to round those edges. They look awesome too. You can even do an edge punch on there. You can get as fancy as you want. This is your basic custom sized envelope to fit pretty much any oddly sized card. Pretty much anything. And then that goes in, boom. So I used the In Good Taste for both of these envelopes. Let me just share that. The reason why I went with that is because, I mean, this paper goes with everything, right? This is just gorgeous paper. It's got a lot of textures, textiles. For example, we've got a lot of wood grains in this pack. But then we've got all these, we got Berber here, different wood grains. Now wood grains, I feel like they just go with everything. This is the one I used just now. This one would have also looked really cool with it. Some darker wood grains, some more fabrics. It's plaster. I mean, there's just lots of cool designs in that paper pack. So it goes great as backgrounds. It goes great with a lot of different projects. Now this one, I used the exact same supplies, just different colors. So for my original, I used the Great Simply Marbleous Designer Series paper, and I used silver metallic for the heart. And in this version, same thing, but I used copper foil for the heart. And instead of making a window, I cut out Blushing Bride to match. And then I've got Blushing Bride base, and I copper embossed on the inside with that. And both of these came from the words all came from that Love and Happiness. I'll share that in just a minute. Stamp set. So this is basically the same thing, just use different colors. Same papers, just different colors. And even the envelope, I use that same In Good Taste. I just used copper and Blushing Bride. So you can see that cool In Good Taste paper. So this is part 3. Part 3 in my series. All of them are created, the bases are all created the same way. So you guys want to see the rest of them? Do you want to see the rest of the designs? Because I had so much fun with these. I was just going crazy. All right. Again, all of these will be made the same way that we just did. So part 1 I shared on Friday. If you guys missed it, you can go back and check it out on my blog, stampwithtami.com. This is a different paper. The paper I used on this one is the it's the host set, the pattern paper. I'm drawing a blank. It'll come to me in a minute. It's also listed on the blog post. So this is part 1. Part 1 here. I use the new subtle shimmer paper here. This one I use the floral heart die. This little heart is the same one I just used on that one, on the one I just shared. Let me share the paper first, and then I'll share the die. I know I've been teasing you with this die. Cool paper, right? This is in the new mini catalog. It's called Subtle Shimmer Specialty Paper. So that's what I used for the pink on this one. And then for the words, the one I love came from the Love and Happiness. This is the same stamp set I used on the first 2 cards too. The same stamp set I used on the one we made, same stamp set on the Blushing Bride one. And this is part of the hybrid folder bundle called Bouquet of Love. So Love and Happiness. These 2 can be purchased together at a 10% discount. They can be purchased separately. This hybrid folder is so cool. So it comes with these dies and the folder. If you want to see this in action, check out last week's class. I used this hybrid folder. with the die inside to cut the cards that I did for the easel fold card. This is just a little piece to share what that large die does, but these were all cut and embossed with the folder. And just teasing that this was last week's class. So if you guys missed last week's class, I had a lot of fun with that hybrid folder. It's an easel card, mother of pearl. I made this card. So you can go back and check that out at stampwithtami.com. Here's a couple more ideas using that hybrid folder in the Love and Happiness stamp set. Right? It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's back in stock, by the way. I know last week some of you are like, oh, it's not in stock. Well, it's back. One thing about back orders is they come back. So I don't know if you guys saw this. This was from last week too. This was an easel card. But see the mother of pearl paper? Oh, love it. Love it. Okay. So that is another sample. That was part 1. More details you can find on stampwithtami.com. Now part 2 I posted yesterday. Okay, again, I want to know which one of these is your favorite. Okay, so hold on. Hold the phone. So that was part 1. Part 2... I used the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. This is from the Sale-a-bration collection. And oops, upside down. No, right way. Right way. There we go. So this I used and it coordinates with the Daffodil Daydream bundle. So I stamped that from the Daffodil Daydream stamp set and colored the inside. But this paper, I cannot get enough of it. I feel like that's going to sell out fast. So that's available free during Sale-a-bration. I used it to create the envelope so that we had the matching envelope here. So that was one. This is part 2 of my series. Again, details are on my blog. And here is another one done with that same designer series paper. And this time I used the Daffodil dies instead of the stamp set to create the inside reveal, the little reveal. And then I used the same banner as I did on my original, but I'm going to make a note here. The banner alone, like on my original, I had that window sheet behind it to make it stronger. The banner alone without the strength behind it, same with the heart, I felt like it was not strong enough. So you want to put maybe a little bit of window sheet underneath it just to keep it strong if you're just going to do the banner by itself. So that was the stamp set and Daffodil die set. This is the bundle that I used with the paper. Have you guys seen this paper? Here's another, this envelope that I created out of the paper. Oh my, I'm going to show you the paper because it's awesome, right? So measurements, I got them for you, Barbara. Absolutely. Go to stampwithtami.com or click on the link in this video's description and go right to this project's page. All of the measurements are right there for you for every single project that I'm sharing right now. And tomorrow I'll have part 4, which I'm going to share in just a minute. I'm there for you, babe. Love you. If you're new and you're not aware, I have PDF printables for every video that I do, and you just need to click on the link in the video's description. All the information on the projects are there, as well as the measurements. Okay, so this is the paper. Oh my god, right? It's to die for. This is available free during Sale-a-bration. Didn't help you much, did it? Let's go here. Okay, it's called Daffodil Afternoon. You can get this if you bought that bundle, you could get this paper free, but you can get it free with any $50 order. While it's available from now through February 28th. And the reason why I say that is because it is very, very possible that this paper is going to sell out. So I want to share that card again. I used this for the front and this for the accent piece. So it was the front and the back that I used there. Oh my god, I love this paper so much. It's hard not to fall in love with it, right? And this is what I used on one of the envelopes, the matching envelopes. And then that was what I used on the other card. Again, the other Easter Blessings card here. Bada bang, right? So this was the back, this was the front of the paper, and then this one. And I'm so torn between which paper I like the most out of this collection, because this is definitely up there. So that was the one I used on one of the envelopes. So the Daffodil Afternoon is part 2 in that series. Okay, so the last share that I have is part 4. This one's going to be on my blog tomorrow. So, oh, thank you, Caroline. Thank you. Glad you guys love it. All right, so this is part 4. is created with the Stampin' Up! Simply Elegant suite. So I used the stamp set, the Elegant tag punch, and the designer, a more amazing designer series paper. The Simply Elegant paper is right up there as wow. So here is one. These also make good masculine cards. I know we're always looking for masculine ideas. So this Simply Elegant collection really fits that bill. So there's one design and one of the matching envelopes. And then here is, now I said all of those other ones I shared were all portrait mode. This one I did landscape. So a little different, and I know, right? The stamp set and this paper, I love it so much. So much. You've seen me use it before because I love it that much. And then here's another matching envelope. The ones that I thought I would hand gift, I put the bows on. The ones I thought I might put in the mail, I put in the, you know what, Carol, I don't have a template for the envelope. I don't know if you caught that part, but it was really, I was pretty much custom doing it on the fly. So, you know, you just have your piece of paper, you literally just bing, bing, score it, and you're good to go. I don't know that there is a template because everyone might be slightly different, just because that's how I roll. So I wanted to show you that paper really quickly. And then I want to hear from you guys. Which one is your favorite? Which one do you love the most? Because I'm having a hard time. As always, coming up with which one is the best. Gail, hand cancel it. Take it to the post office. I have a feeling each postage might be slightly different. And by the time this video airs, the post office might even have gone up in their prices. But I believe that these would be slightly more than a regular envelope. And depending on how much weight you have on it, they might be slightly different in weight and in postage. So this is the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper that I used on part 4. You'll find all the details on the part 4 cards tomorrow on my stampwithtami.com blog. I will link everything together. So, okay, let's see if I can bring them all back in here. This is the Twisted Gatefold collection. These are the two that this is the one that I made live. I wish I could stand them all up. I'll open them up so you can see them a little bit here. Okay, so this was today's video right here with the Simply Marbleous and the Floral Heart. These two are the Daffodil. Let's put them down here. Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. Both of these have Sale-a-bration paper on them. This one uses that subtle shimmer paper, and let's see if I can find one from. Here we go. Or two from the Simply Elegant collection. This one's my, see how these are all landscape, and this one was these are all portrait, and this was my landscape. And then one more from the Simply Elegant. All of the details are on stampwithtami.com. We've got part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. They're all linked, so you can download all of the PDFs, all of the measurements, all of the information. I have been busy, haven't I, Julie? I have just fallen in love with it. You know, sometimes you get going on something and you love it so much that you can't stop. Yeah, that's pretty much where I was at. I'm still going with them. So I hope you have had a lot of fun on today's class, and I hope that you too fall in love with this technique, with this twisted fun fold. Get a little twisted and have some fun. And I love to see what you guys make, so be sure to share it on my Saturday share on Facebook. You can find the post at Stamp with Tammy on Facebook. And I love to see it. And I hope that you are all inspired, and I hope that everyone has a great week. I will be back next week with some more fun, with some more crafting fun and some more fun folds. Thanks for joining me today.